and a very warm welcome to this special. It is time for us to build up to Kolkata Knight Riders versus Punjab Kings, and the news from the Wankhede Stadium is that Kolkata Knight Riders have won the toss and they have opted to bowl first. Yet again, chasing proving to be such an advantage and toss playing such a huge role in this IPL already. So yes, Kolkata Knight Riders have won the toss and they have opted to field first. This tilts the game in Kolkata Knight Riders' favor. But having said that, Punjab Kings is one team which has got a very good batting lineup and will be looking to put up a huge target for Kolkata Knight Riders to chase. So yes, the news from the Wankhede Stadium is that Kolkata Knight Riders have won the toss. They have elected to chase. They've elected to field first. That's the news. Kolkata Knight Riders have won the toss and have elected to field first. That's the news. Not bat, but field first. Okay, so it is advantage Kolkata Knight Riders, but like we said, Punjab is a team that is used to chasing, high scores. We saw that in the first game that they played against Royal Challengers Bangalore, where they chased down 200 plus. So another day where, their batting will be tested. But now Kolkata Knight Riders versus Punjab Kings. Nikhil's here with me as well. Nikhil, two things with Kolkata Knight Riders. One is that this does give them the advantage, but for Kolkata also, the other thing being their strategy that they've been going in with. It's been always an all-out, all-attacking strategy, and that needs to change somewhat, because at the end of the day, you have to be aware of the situation that you're in, and then to go out hammer and tongs after every ball, despite losing wickets. I don't know if that's a good strategy.
Yeah, two things here, Maya. See, first of all, you can't have a very rigid strategy as Brendan McCullum has suggested. We'll go all out every match. It doesn't work. If you're chasing 200 plus, yes. If you're batting first on a placid track, yes. But if you're chasing, 130 on a tricky wicket, you've lost early wickets, you can't go all out. And then lose the match. I mean, you cannot do that. So, also, you need to set, if you're batting first, you need to set 150, 160 instead of getting bowled out on 120. Attacking strategy also, the second thing is attacking strategy also works if you have one great batsman or one attacking batsman after the Punjab can go for an attacking strategy. KKR doesn't have a great batting unit.
Yeah.
They're very dependent on the two Iyers. So if they are going for an attacking strategy and they lose the Iyers, they will...
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, let's also take a look at the playing 11 now for Punjab Kings. There is just one change for both the teams. For Punjab Kings, Kagiso Rabada has come in place of Sandeep Sharma. That's one change. This is what Mayank Agarwal had to say at the toss. He said, we need to start well, assess the conditions early and bat well. We've got one change. Kagiso Rabada comes in for Sandy. He says Sandeep bowled well, but we had to get Kagiso Rabada in. So that is understandable. Kagiso Rabada comes in, Sandeep Sharma sits out. Okay, for Kolkata Knight Riders, again, one change in Shivam Mavi coming back and Sheldon Jackson sitting out. I don't understand that, simply because I think Sheldon Jackson did well behind the stumps. So the reason behind it...
Who's wicket keeping for?
Sam Billings.
Yeah,
okay. So Shivam Mavi is in and Sheldon Jackson is out. That is one change for Kolkata Knight Riders. And as I said, the change for Punjab Kings is that Kagiso Rabada is in place of Sandeep Sharma. Shreyas Iyer said this at the toss. He says, we're going to bowl first. The reasons, obviously, the swimming pool that's visible in the evenings. As I said last game, it's all about giving your all to defend no matter what score you have on the board. All the players are dedicated and focused. And he said, we can't complain about having 3 games in a week. We're all professionals. Now remember, Kolkata Knight Riders already playing the 3rd game of the tournament, where some of the other teams have not even got their 2nd game. So that's the playing 11 for Kolkata Knight Riders. Like I said, there is one change. Shivam Mavi comes in place of Sheldon Jackson. So Sam Billings will be keeping wickets. That's the one change for Kolkata Knight Riders. The Iyers need to fire in this game if they want to do well. The Iyers need to fire overall in this tournament if they want to do well. And also Nitish Rana, hopes have been pinned on him. How will he perform? He's also got that price tag pressure. Then there is, of course, Andre Russell. If he gets going, we know what he can do. Okay, let's also take a look at Punjab Kings and their playing 11. It's one change in Punjab's playing 11, and that is Kagiso Rabada. Comes in place of Sandeep Sharma, and huge boost really for Punjab Kings, for a team that Kagiso Rabada comes in place of Sandeep Sharma. So yes, that was our likely 11 as well. But you know, if there's one team that can chase down a big score, we've seen Punjab doing it before in the last game. But let's talk about first the head-to-head for the two teams. Punjab 10 to KKR's 19.
Yeah.
Overall, Kolkata Knight Riders have the advantage. But if you look at last 2 years, it's been somewhat equal.
Yeah, last 2 years it's 1-all. In 2020, 1-all, 2021, 1-all. The head-to-head, the stat which I'm interested in is KKR's record at Wankhede. They have won 2 of their last 12 matches, Meha. So I think that is a bit of a problem. They haven't done well at the venue. There are reasons for that. So therefore, KKR, after winning the toss, they've elected to field. Yes, it's a big advantage, but what negates that is their record at the venue.
That's right. Okay, now all of you can come in and put in your comments, suggestions. The teams that you're supporting, which is the team that you're supporting? Who do you think will score the maximum runs today? Who will be among the wickets? You've got to tell us as to the teams that you're supporting, and if you have any comments for us, if there are any questions you want to ask, and who's going to win. So I'm going to take some of those comments. There's Akhil who's saying PBKS. A lot of people cheering for Punjab. Then there are also some for Kolkata Knight Riders. Come on, where are the Kolkata Knight Riders fans? Please come in. Let's take a look at what Umesh Yadav had to say earlier on about his bowling performance. He's had a dream start to this tournament and has taken 2 wickets in each of the matches. So listen into what Umesh Yadav has to say.
अभी तो फिलहाल मैं एक ही चीज कहूंगा, मैं अभी एंजॉय कर रहा हूँ क्योंकि इतना सीजन मैं खेल चुका हूँ. मुझे ऑलमोस्ट पहला सीजन आईपीएल नहीं खेला, पर उसके बाद जो भी ये सीजन है 15 तो 14 ऑलरेडी मैं 10-12 सीजन आईपीएल के खेल चुका हूँ. तो और टाइम भी ऐसा है कि अब टेंशन लेने वाला नहीं, एंजॉय करने वाला टाइम है, क्योंकि मुझे मेरी बॉलिंग पता है और विकेट अभी पता है, और आपको पता है कि बॉल नया है, तो आप स्विंग करोगे, जगह पे डालोगे तो यू नो दैट कि आपको विकेट मिलेगा. तो अभी सिचुएशन ऐसी कि मैं अपनी बॉलिंग एंजॉय कर रहा हूँ और टीम ने जो मुझे काम दिया हुआ है कि हाँ मुझे नए बॉल से विकेट निकाल के देने हैं, तो आई एम ट्राइंग माई बेस्ट कि जितने ज्यादा विकेट टीम को मैं निकाल के दे सकूं.
Isn't it wonderful to watch him? I mean, just to see him do well. I would think that, these are very important moments for them. A lot of people might say Umesh Yadav in the IPL, not so effective, isn't that impact player, but he's proving everybody wrong. So all the best wishes to Umesh Yadav. Also listen in to Umesh Yadav on team's preparation as to how Kolkata Knight Riders have been preparing.
एक तो चीज होती है कि परफॉर्मेंस, उसके बाद दूसरा करता है मैटर टीम का एटीट्यूड, और होता है कि जो सिचुएशन में टीम ने परफॉर्म किया, मींस कि हमें पता था कि 130 जो टारगेट है काफी कम है, बट जो कैरेक्टर निकल के आया टीम का कि नहीं 130 में भी हम लोग बेटर कर सकते हैं, तो वो जो कैरेक्टर सबने दिखाया है लास्ट बॉल तक, लास्ट ओवर तक, हर एक रन के लिए जो एफर्ट किया है टीम ने, तो इज कि ऑसम. और यही कह सकता कि आई एम वेरी प्राउड ऑफ दैट कि टीम ने एक साथ मिलकर इतना बढ़िया जो सिचुएशन का उसको हैंडल किया और वो प्रेशर टाइम में परफॉर्म किया है. तो इट्स गुड टू सी दैट कि एवरीवन इन द गेम, और लग रहा था कि या वी जस्ट हंटिंग इन द पैक.
So there you have it, Umesh Yadav. How is he going to do today? I think he's one of the X factors for this team in this IPL. And today he can again change the direction of the match. But yes, the news from the Wankhede Stadium is that Kolkata Knight Riders have won the toss. They have elected to field first. No surprises there. We've seen what teams chasing have been doing. And also, just before we go any further, there you see Kolkata Knight Riders having won the toss and have opted to field first. Also, the playing 11 for the two teams before we get back to chatting. Let's start with Kolkata Knight Riders then. Shreyas Iyer in that playing 11. No changes there except for one where Shivam Mavi has come in place of Sheldon Jackson. Now again, why do you think that is? Given that Sheldon Jackson is actually good as the wicketkeeper, is that because they think that they needed an extra bowler?
Which is surprising because the batting has been the weak link.
Yeah.
So why do you want an extra bowler in Shivam Mavi who's right arm fast? Maybe they expect the wicket to do a bit much with the new ball. So Mavi is quick. So maybe he. But I would think by dropping Sheldon, they're weakening the batting. So I'm so surprised.
That is right. Okay, so let's also take a look at Punjab Kings playing 11 before we go any further. If you could put that up on the screens, then we can talk about Punjab Kings. There, one change in Kagiso Rabada, otherwise it's the same team that won in the last game against Royal Challengers Bangalore. Kagiso Rabada comes in place of Sandeep Sharma. So that's one change for them. And like I said, for Kolkata Knight Riders, the change was Sheldon Jackson going out and Shivam Mavi coming in. Okay, now I've been looking at all the comments from all of you. So if you have any questions, do let us know. There are a lot of you who are cheering for the two teams, which is always nice to see. And we've seen Kolkata Knight Riders having a huge fan base, and Punjab, I think just because the team looks so good this time, that a lot of people would be cheering for Punjab Kings. But also, now take a look at the two Iyers. The two Iyers before we move to the fantasy team, or should we take the fantasy team straight up? For all of you who are waiting to make your fantasy team, I've got your fantasy team for you. But let's quickly take a look at this about Venkatesh Iyer and Shreyas Iyer and how they need to fire. That's one crucial thing, Nikhil, because a lot depends on how they do in this tournament. Their batting is dependent on them.
Absolutely. This team is heavily dependent on the two Iyers. They are the two superstars in this team. Venkatesh for what he did last day in the UAE leg, and Shreyas has been in the form of his life across formats. That what he did in his debut in Kanpur in Test cricket, then the player of the series against Sri Lanka, tremendous batting in the T20 games. So both of them need to fire. Venkatesh has failed in both the matches, and I don't know what's wrong with him. Also, Shreyas has done one in one match, he's failed in one match. Therefore, they need to do well for KKR to do well.
Okay, so they need to do well for Kolkata Knight Riders to do well. There you take a look at that. Shreyas Iyer 13 and 20. We already saw for Venkatesh Iyer as well. They need to get to big scores if they want their teams to do well. Okay, now also we have a fantasy 11 for all of you. All of you who play Dream 11 or any of these fantasy apps, this is the playing 11 that we've put together. Now this is, I would think, is a safe 11, but I also think that this is an 11 that works. So let's take you through that. And there was a discussion back and forth because it's so difficult to really figure out who the captain should be in this team. Do you want to go in with Mayank Agarwal? Do you want to go in with Shreyas Iyer? Finally, we went in with Shikhar Dhawan as the captain, just because of the colossus that he is in IPL. So Shreyas Iyer, he's been consistent in the last two seasons, and also in the last match scored 43. So I think he looks good. He looks in rhythm, in form. Shreyas Iyer, the captain there, a good choice. Then we've gone in with Venkatesh Iyer as our vice captain, because Venkatesh Iyer may have failed in the last two matches, but at some point will come good. We've seen what he's done in the recent times, not just in international cricket, but in domestic cricket as well. So he gets the vice captain spot. Then there is Mayank Agarwal. Why not? Mayank Agarwal, we know what he can do. And he also enjoys batting against Kolkata Knight Riders. So Mayank Agarwal is in that spot. In fact, the last time he played at the Wankhede Stadium, he had scored a 36 ball 69. So if you could just go back to the fantasy 11 and we could show them the whole team and take them through this team. the fantasy 11. There's Mayank Agarwal, Bhanuka Rajapaksha again because of how well he's been performing. Then there is Shreyas Iyer in the side as well. You know, Shreyas Iyer's score against Punjab have been very good. He's got 250s in the last 5 innings that he's played against Punjab. And why would you not want to keep Shreyas Iyer in the kind of form that he's in? Then there is Nitish Rana, just in the hope Nitish Rana can also be your risk pick, your differential pick. If he gets going, you know, he can get to big scores. Then there is Sunil Narine, the legend of T20 cricket. He's there. And then there is Liam Livingstone, Rahul Chahar, Umesh Yadav and Arshdeep. That's your fantasy team for all those who are interested. Now, you've all been writing in, but if you have any questions, do let us know. A lot of people are also cheering for Bhanuka Rajapaksha, and he's just been a surprise package because he comes in place of Johnny Bairstow and grabs the opportunity with both hands to be able to play like that and then to hit Vanindu Hasaranga for sixes when we saw what Vanindu Hasaranga did against Kolkata Knight Riders. So to see him bat so freely, it would be nice.
Yeah, I mean, he's highly rated in Sri Lankan domestic cricket, and it was his innings which was actually changed the momentum for Punjab Kings. I mean, Dhawan gave a good start with Agarwal, but Bhanuka kept the momentum up, and therefore they were able to chase down the 200 plus score. If not for his innings, they would have fallen well short.
That's right. So let's also take a look at the X factors now. Players who can make the difference, and who's going to be the player, Nikhil?
For me, from which team are you asking?
Let's start with Kolkata. Chaliye, Kolkata se start karo.
Kolkata se, the player I've chosen is Umesh Yadav. That's because he's been brilliant with the new ball, Maya. I mean, 2 for 16, 2 for 20 in the power play. Fielding restrictions are on. All his 4 wickets were in the power play, all 4 big wickets. He's bowling at 145, he's bowling accurately, he's being hostile, he's not going for runs. In fact, he's taken 49 wickets in the power play in his career at an economy of 7-6. Only 3 bowlers, Bhuvneshwar, Sandeep Sharma, who's interestingly has been dropped in this match, and Zaheer Khan have taken more in the power play in IPL history. So this guy with the new ball on a Wankhede wicket, they were again saying which will have some zip earlier on. I think Umesh is a big X factor.
Umesh is a big
I have a question for you. Should they bowl him out? Given that he's excellent with the new ball.
You know what, they've done that. They've not bowled him out completely. I think they've kept him 1 over, but they've gone straight up for 3 overs. That's one thing I saw in the last game. And I think that's where the difference was as well. They did bowl him out. I think they got him in the middle overs, finished it off, and that's why they then had to go to Andre Russell. And you know how then things panned out for them. But yes, I think that's an interesting one. Maybe they should straight up because of how good he's been bowling. But also the X factor from Punjab Kings has to be Kagiso Rabada. Why not? I mean, Kagiso Rabada, once again, just look at that, 76 IPL wickets at a strike rate of 15.
Best strike rate in IPL history for any bowler. Imagine that. He just knows how to take wickets. T20, ODIs, Test cricket, this guy knows how to take wickets. He may go for runs, especially in the death overs, but he'll get you the quality wickets, and which overall means he'll have a positive impact. 55 wickets he took combined, 30 and 25 in 19 and 20. Kagiso Rabada is a match winner with the ball. He was the hero of Delhi Capitals in 19 and 20.
Okay, so the news coming from the Wankhede Stadium is that Kolkata Knight Riders have won the toss. They have opted to field first. No surprises there. But how is this going to impact the teams now? How is it going to impact Punjab Kings especially? I want to know, will they go out and try to score at least 200 plus on this wicket? What is the strategy going to be like? It'll be interesting. But also the playing 11 quickly, like we said, only 1 change each in each teams. Just if we could put those the playing 11 for our viewers. Kolkata Knight Riders, like I said, 1 change. Sheldon Jackson is out. Shivam Mavi is in. Shreyas Iyer, the captain. Venkatesh, Ajinkya Rahane, Nitish Rana. Sam Billings is going to keep wickets for them. Andre Russell, they want Andre Russell to fire with the bat. Then there is Sunil Narine, Tim Southee, Umesh Yadav and Varun Chakravarti. That's the team for Kolkata. Let's also take a look at the playing 11 for Punjab Kings. So, Nikhil, you want to take us through the Punjab Kings team?
Yeah, Mayank Agarwal, of course, the captain. Dhawan, the run scorer, the accumulator who turned into aggressor mid-seasons, last 2 editions. Rajapaksha, the mystery batsman from Sri Lanka, the cameo which changed, gave momentum into the Punjab chase against RCB. Livingstone, fastest T20I century for England in their history. The under-19 all-rounder hero for India, Bawa. Then we have Mr. Khan. Odean Smith, he's going to play against his role model, against his hero today, against whom he has a very interesting record.
Yes.
Dismissed him twice, Meha, and not conceded many runs. So Odean Smith versus Russell will be an interesting battle.
Also the net bowler for Knight Riders.
Yes, also that. So that's an interesting angle. Harpreet Bar, not many people know that because he's so unassuming that he had the best economy rate last season. Arshdeep Singh, left arm, very good deceptive bowler. Rabada, we just spoke about him, legend of the IPL. And Rahul Chahar, when everyone went above 9 to 10 runs per over, this man took a wicket and only 4 overs, 24 runs. Very restrictive. Again, an unsung
economy
hero.
of 5.5 or something. Wow. So yes, Punjab Kings versus Kolkata Knight Riders. Punjab Kings, it's going to be a big one for them if they can win this and change the trend. Can they do it? That's the big thing, because they've had a good start to the campaign. If we could put that up, the complete team effort against Royal Challengers Bangalore, Agarwal and Dhawan gave them a very good start. Then Rajapaksa came in. He scored 43 of 20 odd balls. Then, of course, we ended up seeing cameos by Shah Rukh Khan and Odean Smith. Just when you thought that maybe the match was running away from them, Odean Smith hitting those big sixes. And you realized, wow, in this IPL, how often have we seen West Indians do that? We saw a West Indian last night win the match. Just to see, even in that RCB match that RCB won against Kolkata Knight Riders, Shaf and Rutherford scoring, though slightly slowly, but then, was there till the end, played the anchor role. But Rahul Chahar, as Nikhil was mentioning, economical, 1 for 22. Also, we've talked about the X factors. There's Umesh Yadav, Kagiso Rabada, but also chasing advantage at Wankhede. We've already talked about it. Nikhil, what can they do now? Because, I mean, this is going to play a huge role. This is going to be a problem. What should teams do? And I know that everybody goes around talking about, practice with a wet ball, try playing with a wet ball. We've seen this even during the World Cup, T20 World Cup, this whole conversation, because Dew was playing a huge role there. But there's not much you can do. If you have the advantage, you just have the advantage.
Yeah, there's not much you can do. One thing is you use your spinners in the power play, you finish them before the 14th over. Yeah. But also your fast bowlers are also affected, Maya, because the seam becomes very soft. Yeah. The ball doesn't move. So, and it comes onto the bat easily. There is no lateral movement. Yeah. So there's not much you can do. It's just that you account for those 20, 25, sometimes 30, 40 runs extra, which is a lot. In T20 cricket, it is a lot. But, Punjab Kings is one team which has that batting to do it. But this wicket, remember, from the pitch report by the host broadcast, is not a belter. They are saying it's not a belter. Wankhede surprisingly hasn't been a belter. So they are saying it looks good, but any score of around 180 against a not so strong KKR lineup, I think even with the Dew could be enough.
Also, I would think that Kolkata Knight Riders will know the conditions slightly better, given that they've already played a game here at the Wankhede. Yeah. And, for Punjab Kings, this is a new pitch. But I think for Punjab Kings now to have the chance of winning, to really look to win this match, will need a good start. And I think that will, which is what we saw from Chennai last night. And I know they ended up losing. But a good start, getting to a big total, is the only thing you can do when you're in a situation like this. So in that sense, a lot will come down to how Mayank Agarwal and Shikhar Dhawan start.
And they gave a good start against RCB, didn't they? And therefore, they chased the total down. So I expect the same from either one of them to, score a 60, 70. And then they have one batsman after the other. Remember, Johnny Bairstow is yet to walk into this 11. So this team is a formidable team. Yeah. So I'm expecting Punjab Kings to again, I think they have, I know historically KKR had the advantage, but and they won the toss. But given KKR's record at the venue, given the potential of the two teams, I think Punjab Kings, something special about this team.
Something special about Punjab Kings. And we've seen this even with Punjab last time against RCB. You thought, wow, RCB's really run away with the match. But Punjab Kings just showed the kind of batting depth that we talked about when they, right after the auction. And they've been proving that they are a strong team. Now, some of the key battles that we're looking forward to. One, Andre Russell versus Kagiso Rabada. That's one thing
Yeah.
because Rabada has had the wood over Russell.
In fact, it's the other way around. It's Andre Russell has 79 runs in 39 balls. It's shocking actually, at a strike rate of 200, and only dismissed Russell once, Rabada. So, Andre Russell has taken apart one of the best bowlers in IPL history,
Yeah.
which is, absolutely.
Is there any bowler that Andre Russell's not been able to take apart? I mean, I know, but I also remember that match against DC, or at that time were the Delhi Daredevils. But it was an incredible match where he just went hammer and tongs. And I remember Kagiso Rabada being hit for 4s and 6s at will.
Yeah, so I think there would be a few bowlers. I think Andre Russell doesn't play, leg spinners very well. Another key battle which we've discussed before is Odean Smith versus Andre Russell. Now, Odean Smith, he's against his hero, has a very interesting record. The head-to-head is not much. The sample size 8 balls, only 13 runs, and he dismissed him twice. So this is going to be an interesting battle when Odean Smith, who went for a lot of runs in his previous match, but he may again be sent into bowl just when Russell bats. They together won for Deccan Gladiators in the T10 Abu Dhabi League. They won the title. I'm also looking forward to Umesh Yadav versus Agarwal. That will be interesting. Rahul Chahar against Shreyas Iyer. Shreyas Iyer is one of the best players of spin bowling in the country. In fact, I would say he's the best player of spin in the country. Other Indian batsmen like Virat and all are struggling against spin.
Yes.
So Shreyas Iyer and Rahul will be a brilliant battle in the middle overs. And then I've already said Umesh Yadav versus Sunil Narine versus Dhawan. I think Sunil Narine will be used as a strategic bowler because he's an off spinner. He'll take the ball away from Dhawan to control Dhawan. I think this is going to be a very interesting move in the power play.
That's right. Okay, so Punjab Kings versus Kolkata Knight Riders. For all of you who are just joining in, Kolkata Knight Riders, they have won the toss. They've opted to field first. The match is being played at the Wankhede Stadium, and a lot of comments coming in. People just asking us, people just basically cheering for their teams. There are Kolkata Knight Riders fans who want their team to do well. There's, of course, Punjab Kings fans who are cheering for their team. But okay, let's not prediction time. A little bit of who do you think will be the highest run scorer? And why? I mean, why as in, why do you think he would be?
Yeah, I think in today's match, I think Shikhar Dhawan. I think he'll be the highest run scorer. Why? Because he's along with KL Rahul. If I'm not mistaken, I think those two are the highest run scorers in the last 3 seasons of the IPL. I think Warner is also somewhere there, but I think these three. So I think Shikhar Dhawan is going to be the highest run scorer just because he is also an IPL run machine like KL Rahul.
I would think today is the day for Mayank Agarwal. I don't know why I feel that Mayank Agarwal is going to do well. He also likes playing at the Wankhede Stadium. I feel like Mayank Agarwal and also Shreyas Iyer, at the Wankhede. Yeah. That's another one that we're looking forward to. But in the end, I think a lot will just come down to what is the target that Punjab sets for Kolkata Knight Riders and how Kolkata Knight Riders chase it. And I feel today is also going to be an important day for someone like Andre Russell, where if Punjab ends up setting a big enough target, Russell might come into play, and it'll really come down to how he performs then, because we've seen him with the ball, but with the bat, Russell
it's high time because he needs to show a bit of the form which he showed a couple of seasons back when he scored those 500 runs at a strike rate of almost 200. So I think if they score above 180, they would need Russell because they can't do it with just the 2 Iyers. They need one of the Iyers and Russell if the score is 180 plus. So yes, Russell the batsman is very significant. Yeah.
Okay, now a lot of people saying KL Rahul not played today. No, KL Rahul is not playing today. You guys are watching the old last year's match.
He's left
Punjab. So KL Rahul's not playing. A lot of people also cheering for Punjab, otherwise saying Punjab जीतेगा. तो मतलब कोलकाता नाइट राइडर्स वाले भी कह रहे हैं कि नहीं, कोरबो लोड़बो जीतबो रे, हम जीतेंगे. हम आपको यहाँ पे जो भी लेटेस्ट हो रहा है वो बताते रहेंगे. तो जो लेटेस्ट है वो ये है कि वानखेड़े में Kolkata Knight Riders have won the toss. They have opted to field first against Punjab Kings. Let's also quickly take you again through the playing 11 for all those who are joining in right now. Just to take a look at who are the players. There is, of course, Shreyas Iyer, just one change in that team with Shreyas Iyer, Venkatesh Iyer, Ajinkya Rahane, Nitish Rana. The change is Shivam Mavi. He has come in place of Sheldon Jackson. There's Sam Billings, Andre Russell, Sunil Narain, Tim Southee, Umesh Yadav and Varun Chakravarti. So that's the team for Kolkata Knight Riders. But they already have an edge with that toss having been won by them. Okay, now let's take a look at Punjab Kings. One change there as well. Kagiso Rabada has come in place of Sandeep Sharma. And if you look at that side, I mean, you see the kind of batting that we've been discussing so far, that when you have openers in Mayank Agarwal and Shikhar Dhawan, and then you have Rajapaksha, who's been so good in the tournament in that one match that he got. Then there is Livingstone. We know what he can do. He can hit a long ball. Then there is Raj Angad Pawar. We've seen what Shah Rukh Khan and Odean Smith did in the last game. This is an absolutely brilliant batting. And they will need to come good today. If they want to have any chances of winning today, they will need to set a big total. Nikhil?
Absolutely. I think they will score around 180 given the nature of the wicket, Meha. But I think they will defend it despite their due. I think KKR will make around 150. I'm expecting a 30-run win for Punjab Kings.
Despite batting first?
Despite batting first, just because I don't think KKR have the batting. Nothing personal.
Wow.
I love tandoori chicken.
Do you believe him? Do you believe him when he says Kolkata Knight Riders do not have the batting? Where are all the Kolkata Knight Riders fans? Come on, tell us as to what you think. Do you think he's right? Because I don't think so. When you have the two Iyers and the kind of form that they're in, Sam Billings, he got a good start last time, got some big shots, couldn't convert it. He is there. I think it's a bit much to say. Then there is Andre Russell. How can you say it's not a strong enough team and that they'll lose by 30 runs? That's a bit much.
Why 30 runs? They'll make 150. It's good enough. They made 128 last time.
Oh, no. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe, but I doubt it. I think it is advantage Kolkata.
Umesh Yadav is struck again. Mayank is LBW.
Okay.
5th wicket in the power play. So there we go. Umesh Yadav, 5th wicket in the power play. Best new ball bowler in the tournament. What a great start. What a phenomena he's turning out to be, Maya. Umesh Yadav with the new ball. First over, 2 runs, 1 wicket. Wow.
Okay, so the score is 2 for 1. Straight away, Umesh Yadav strikes. First ball.
Last ball of the over.
Last ball of the over. That's
Yeah.
right. Last ball of the over. Umesh Yadav strikes. Mayank Agarwal is out with an off cutter. So there you have it. First wicket already gone. Maybe you're right.Maybe you know something that I don't know, Nikhil. But yes, Mayank Agarwal's out in the first over. Yet again, we've seen Umesh Yadav do that in the last 2 games. How good has he been? And in the show, we were talking about how he could be the X factor today, and he's turning out to be just that, taking Mayank Agarwal, the dangerous Mayank Agarwal, out in the very first over. Punjab down 1 wicket already, with Umesh Yadav continuing his dream run in the tournament and getting the crucial wicket of the Punjab Kings captain Mayank Agarwal for dot. Okay, we'll get you all the latest. We'll get you all the latest from this IPL. Do join us at 3 o'clock, which is when we'll be discussing our fantasy team. Also, today at 10 p.m., we're going live with the World Cup football draw. So we'll be here. We'll get you all the latest of what is happening there. That'll be at 10 p.m. tonight. So if you're interested in football, if you're interested in the FIFA World Cup coming up in Qatar, so you be here and you watch us, and we'll get you all the news from there. For now, that's it on this. Do keep writing in the comments section, and do subscribe to our channel if you haven't, our YouTube channel. Press that notification button so that you can get the notification as and when we drop a video. For now, goodbye. Thanks for watching.